Welcome to the Man Cave. Today we have part 2 of our layout. As you can see along the back here, I have my original backing. I'll show you what that's made of. Here it is. Polystyrene, normal, cheap as chips polystyrene. And obviously it's flat at the front. Once you've cut it out, just use a bread knife to cut it out. And if you get your knife and run the blade over it that way, it will just rip all the front off to give it a stoned finish. Then you can just dig in and make all these holes, imperfections to look like rock front. And then you're left with this. So our mission now is to get this looking like this. I will show you how to paint this. So, if you watched part 1 of the video, you'll notice that, where's my brush? The paint I used for part 1 was my little tub, which has got emulsion white in there, and there's also some black just poured on the top. Don't mix it together, makes it a nightmare. It'll kind of self-mix once it gets on here. I think we are really going to start running out of this paint soon. I think I'm going to have to put some more emulsion in this tub. Yeah, there's got to be nowhere near enough in this tub to do this. I've forgot just how much paint this uses. But you don't have to be at all neat with this. You don't have to be at all neat. You can just slap it on any way you like. Right, I'm definitely running out of paint. Let me fill this up and I'll be back. I'll just pause this video, back in a second. Right, we're back. I filled this up with white emulsion. Here is normal kids black poster paint. Don't mix it in. Just shoot a bit on the top, as much as you like. Come on, there you go, we've got a good old blob in there now. And for good luck, I've put a little bit of burnt umber in there as well, a little bit of brown on the end. There we are. And you'll see that this will work an absolute treat. So we dip into our white and pick up a bit of brown and black at the same time. Over we go. That's a bit dark, so come over with a bit of white. And this is how I done the back wall you see over there. Same principle as this. So you don't have to be neat. You don't have to be neat at all. All you need to do is make sure you've covered all the whites. It can take a little bit of time. I shan't edit this because some of you might want to see it. But you're going to use a lot of paint. That's why I used white emulsion, because basically it's cheap. And nice and thick, so it actually covers well. Goes in all the holes nicely once you get it in there. That sounded quite disgusting, didn't it? Fits the hole nicely once you get it in there. Yeah. Well, maybe I've just got a dirty mind. I'm a man, I never grow up. So we're getting this slopped about here nicely. Whoops, I'll get it on the wall of the house, I'll get absolutely shot off the wife. There we go. And you're thinking, well, that ain't the same colour as the back wall. Well, bear with. Bear with. all will be revealed. Right, there we go. We are pretty much covered. So I want to finish in a nice grain so we ain't got that muddled up. Right, now we've got this sort of consistency. There we go. We can now add our texture. So we now start picking out some black to make the whole thing a bit darker. Don't brush it in too much or you'll lose the definition. Just brush it in until you get so it looks nice and ununiform. If you keep brushing it, it will just mix in with the paint underneath and make the whole lot darker. We don't want that. We just want some dark and light highlights. We'll pick out a bit more black. Whether you can see that I'm doing the end now. So a little bit out of camera shot, I'm sorry. There we go, let's just paint at the end. But we aren't going to see the end too much. Right, and we're left now with basically we're left with this. Which, when dry, will pretty much, if I've done it right, it'll pretty much match what's on there. And then I can dry brush over it. I just want to do the top without getting it on the wall. But the top is not really crucial. Well, it is because you see it, but from a seated position where you view the layout, you don't really see the top. I'll do it anyhow, so if you're standing and watching, it all looks good. There we go. And that, guys, is pretty much how that is pretty much how I make the back seams. I mean, I've done this live. How long is this video? 8 minutes, 8.5 minutes, just under. And I've already painted it, and that's how it is. I could, if I wanted, blend it into the board next door so it did match, to take away any colour differential. So we're kind of blending into the board what's on here. Yeah, and once that's dry, that'll pretty much all be blended. Because obviously paint dries a lot lighter than it looks now. So once that's all dried out, there's some paint running out of these holes. Don't worry about it. That will take a while to dry, I'll admit. Because you've got the paint really thick and in a few of them holes, so it will start running out of the holes. Don't worry about it. It's meant to look like a natural rock formation. So That is not finished. I mean, that's just the first coat. Once we're done, we'll what's called dry brush, and we'll start putting more of the top effect on, you know, to get the highlights out. I haven't done this quite as coarse as I put a lot of crevices and recesses in there. I haven't done this because I have a plan, and I don't want this area here I'm now putting in, I don't want that particularly bumpy, so I want it smooth because I'm going to put stuff against it. So I haven't carved it out nowhere near as deep as I did on this piece. So that's basically what we're going to do. But yeah, I have a big surprise. Keep following this series of doing this layout, because I do have a big surprise of what I'm going to do on here. I'm not going to tell you what it is. It's going to be a surprise. But yeah, I hope it all works out. If it don't, I shan't put it on video. No, I probably will put it on video. So it'll give you guys something to laugh at if it does go wrong. But no, hopefully that's going to be alright. So our next thing, while we're on this, my baseboard. While I've got this dirty paint, I'm going to cover the baseboard over a little bit. Not in all these places, but a little bit. You've got to work out what colour or what sort of substrate you're going to put over. Now this whole layout is ballasted along here because it's like a commercial area. So I can't just go straight to grass here, it would look odd. So I'm going to continue that with a bit of ballasting. Probably around this area. So if I sort of ballast up to here, if I say I'm going to ballast around here, when you lay your sort of ballast or your commercial ground, if you miss any, your board underneath is appropriately coloured. And now you notice, nothing's uniform. I'm not doing anything all one colour. Nothing's uniform in nature. I think the rest of this I'm going to do green. The rest of it's going to be sort of, yeah, pretty much grass. Under here is pretty much going to be covered up by the elevated layer. So, bugger it. We'll go to the end with it. We might as well go to the end with it. So if you haven't seen part 1 of the video, please go look on the channel. It's a very small channel. I've only just opened this channel. I have a main channel called the Norfolk Man Cave, which was my main and first channel. But I predominantly did more car stuff on there, more engine stuff. And I found when I was posting my train videos on there, I lost a bit of interest in the subscriber rate. Because, not being funny, I love trains, we love trains. But a lot of people that are into their classic cars and the normal stuff I do on the Man Cave, on the Norfolk Man Cave, some of them people aren't into trains. And when you start loading a channel up which you've got an audience which cater for something else, when you start putting something totally different on there, I lost a few subscribers and started noticing that the sort of, you know, the interest went out. So I set up a new channel, Man Cave on Trains, which is the one you're watching now. Because us train nerds, we're a bit of a niche, really. You know, we love all this stuff, but not everyone does, as we know. Come on, colour that bit. Nah, see, I want to get a bit of blue star. There we go. So that's pretty much it for this video. I've covered this half of the baseboard. Well, no, it isn't really it for this video. I'll tell you what we'll do. Because I'm going to have a grassy area on the other side, I'm going to just use some sap green. So I do a bit of acrylic painting as well. which comes in handy. I'm just about out of sap green. So we can just cover over this. Come on, cover, cover. So bearing in mind, you're going to be putting your, what do you call it, your scenery over this, grass block, stone, whatever. I've got to try and get every last bit out of here. Thought I had another tub of sap green, I can't see one. I don't particularly want to use my expensive sap green, I actually use for painting. That's a little bit extravagant using an expensive paint just to do this. There we go. That's probably going to give us enough. Just nip into your brown, doesn't matter. I'm saying if your colours do mix, don't worry about it. You don't particularly want them all the same colour anyhow. Did you notice I didn't even wash the brush out in between this? No, didn't even wash the brush out. No need. Because like I say, it's... And once we're done that, we can then blend this into this to give us a nice transition. And then we just go the other way and we just blend out, and that will drag one colour the other, giving you a lovely transition between the green and the brown. There, so whatever we decide to put over there now, it's going to look right. When we put our ballast over here, this is like a ground effect underneath, blending into, I can put my green in there, I can put my grass on there, and anything you see will just, anything you see through it, well, it'll just be this. So this is mainly going to be covered up. This is just for any little bits you miss. You're not going to see, there would be nothing more off-putting than seeing bright blue styrofoam in gaps that you'd missed. So always good, cover your baseboard. It gives you an idea of how smooth it is. So this little bit is 2'3", no, 2'10". So that's made my entire layout now. We're going to be 5. We're going to be just under 8 feet, 8 feet by 3 feet, which is about as big as I could get. So I've left a little gap between there to put stuff in. So yeah, there you go. Well, I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. So this is going to be part 2. In fact, I've yet to post part 1. I really ought to get on the old editing suite and start editing, get posting. Right, am I going to post? Yeah, I'm now going to edit episode 1 actually and put that on. Right, I'm off guys. See you next time. Bye bye for now.